and I came here in around 2013, and there was a turning point in my life when I came across the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in 2015, and from that time I have been reading Bhagavad Gita and sort of conducting such sessions on a regular basis. And I was very inspired by the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, by what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and so I just felt it is important to share this knowledge. So that's where all this started. So thank you for you all to come. Thursday evening, office time, still you took out the time. So really appreciate it. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Picharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashudeshtarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Thank you again for coming. So, one thing I want to clarify before starting. Usually, our sessions, we start on time and we end on time. In the first session, so it went a little late, started late. So, excuse me for that. And many of you asked this question, how we are going to cover the entire Bhagavad Gita in 9 sessions. So, we are not going to go verse by verse or chapter by chapter. It will take a lot of time. Earlier, we used to conduct here Bhagavad Gita sessions at my place, and we used to take 1 hour just for one verse. So for 700 verses, it will take 700 hours. If we go really deep, mind is there. He used to be there. So this is more like what we are covering is topics. What kind of topics we'll be covering? Today we'll be covering a very foundational topic of Bhagavad Gita. Based on that, you will be hearing a lot of jargons today. Based on that, you will be the next sessions will be there. So that's why today's session is very important. And then after that, we'll be discussing next time we'll be discussing, does God exist? Many of you have that belief, but there are people who don't have any belief. So how to understand what is the proof that God exists? Then we'll be discussing about science of God. Then we'll be discussing identity crisis. Who are we? Then why do bad things happen to good people? Good things happen to bad people. We'll be discussing that as well. And then we'll be discussing some practical applications of Bhagavad Gita. So this is a nutshell what all we'll be discussing. And we'll see, we might add up more topics or edit some topics based on how much time we have. Okay. Mostly it will be 9 sessions we'll try to cover. Okay, so without further ado, we'll start now. Thank you again for coming. Hare Krishna. So, since we all have come mostly from different parts of the world, I thought we'll first start with what is green card process. So my first question, it is interactive. So because all these are fundamentals which will help you to understand Bhagavad Gita as a whole. Okay. So how many different categories are there in a green card process? Green card. What are different kinds of green cards? Different categories. Can you name some? Employment based, right? Family based, employment based. What else? Birth. Yes, special based. That is more towards subcategories within employment based. But yes, then we have lottery based green card, humanitarian based green card, right? So like this, we have many different categories of green card. So when you hear the word category, what comes to your mind? When someone tells you the word category, what comes in your mind? Path, okay, interesting. What else? Reservation, yes, there will be different reservations, so different quotas for everything, yes. What? Particular kind, yes. What else? When we say different categories are there, what are different categories? What classification? Differences, correct? Immediately when we hear about categories, what we understand is there is some differentiation now, right? But at the same time, there will be some similarities also, right? Can I say there are 2 different categories, USA and rhinoceros? You will say what there is no similarity between them, correct? But when we say family-based green card and employment based green card. What we understand is that okay, green card milne wala hai, you will going to get green card. That is a common thing. Some are privileged because their kids are maybe green card or their spouse are green card holders, or they have special skills, right? So there can be different reasons for why someone will be getting green card, right? So whenever we hear the word category, two things come to the mind. One is there will be some differences. At the same time, there will be some similarities. Correct? There will be some differences. At the same time, there will be some similarities. Another example we will take. While boarding the flights, different groups, right? So in 2020, my daughter was born, Kishori. Before that, we used to always have group D. By the time we board the flight, we had no space in the upper compartments, and then our aerospace used to just put your luggage below, near your feet, and we used to do that. Now we are privileged. We are the first ones to enter. Even if we don't, please, we have a kid. So in this also we have different groups, right? Group A, Group B. So we have veterans, right? People who have served the military, they get the first chance, or let's say they have some small kids, 1 or 2, so then they get the chance. So we see different categories. What is the similarity in them? Everyone is going to get a seat or in the same flight. But what are the differences? Based on maybe some has kids, maybe some have old age, maybe because of the age they are getting a chance to enter first, or maybe they have served United States, because of that they are getting the chance to enter first. Military, correct? There could be various reasons. Okay, so based on now we have seen 2 examples, right? Different categories in green card, then we have seen different categories in boarding of flight. Now my next question is, what are the different kinds of living entities? What are different categories in living entities? Different categories of living entities.
Intelligent is not
Animals? Yes.
Intelligent is not intelligent.
Okay, that is one way to categorize. But animal, yes, thank you. Humans, we are forgetting ourselves only. Thank you. Humans, animals, plants, yes. Reptiles, correct? Reptiles are the insects, birds, right? And these are different kinds of categories, right? So we can just, for our example's sake, we can group them as humans and non-humans. Okay, humans and non-humans. And non-humans are whom? You can think of it like animals, reptiles, birds, all those come into non-humans, right? So now if there are categories, that means there are 2 things. What are the 2 things we discussed? Similarities and differences. So the question now is, what are the similarities between animals and humans? Now we are entering Bhagavad Gita. Non-living beings. All living beings. Okay, that is a similarity. What else?
They feel pain.
They feel pain. Lagina to that over. Yes, they feel pain. What else? They eat food. Yeah, they eat food. Okay, so eating, right? They get pain. Feeling is there. What else?
They live for a certain time.
They live for basically they will die. Yes. What else? Reproduction. Correct. Reproduction. You are actually quoting the verses of yoga texts. Believe me. Okay. So eating, reproduction. Some said pain. What else? 2 more. I'm looking for 2 more.
Actually, emotions, each of them will have emotions.
Emotions.
Whatever.
Yes. Emotions. So pain. Singing. Yes. Sleeping. Yes. Sleeping. 1 more. Communicate. Yes. They all can talk.
Memory.
Yes. Memory. Correct. Movement. They all can move. Correct. So these are some of the similarities that we see between animals and humans. But what is the difference then? If there are 2 categories, that means there would be some differences. No. What is the difference?
Consciousness. They can't talk.
No, they can talk among themselves. Bhav. You will also say bhav. Why have you entered in my area? Bhav. Right? So, yes, they can communicate.
Not everyone can think. Not all the categories can think.
Think. Yes.
Sense of discrimination. Awareness.
Yes, awareness. Thank you so much. That is the very biggest difference between humans and animals. Awareness.
Humans can improve their consciousness with
Yes, they have a higher consciousness. Amazing. This is what actually yoga text says. You guys are amazing. Yes. What else?
You already said.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So what we discussed is what are the differences between animals and human beings. And some of the things that we discussed is eating, sleeping, reproduction, right? They can defend themselves, right? And similarities, and differentiation, what we discussed is they have a higher consciousness, awareness. Right? This is exactly what Hitopanishad Mahabharata in Bhagavad Gita says. Ahar nidra bhayamaithunam cha सामान्यमेतत् पशुभिः नराणां धर्मो हि तेषाम् अधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीना पशुभिः समाना. Okay, so what does human being means in Sanskrit? Manushya. Yes. Another word is Nara. Right? So there is a word Nara. So you understood? That is talking about human beings. Nara means human beings. Okay. And before that, the word is Pashuvi, which is animals. So what this verse is saying? Ahar, Nitra, Bhayamayetunam cha. It is saying that there are 4 similarities. Obviously, there are many more, but specifically these 4 are the similarities between an animal and a human being. Ahar, they both can eat. Nidra, they both can sleep. Right? Bhaya, fear, defending, they can defend themselves. Right? And Maithun, not Mithun Chakrabarti, Maithun. Maithun means they can reproduce. Correct? Ahar, Nitra, Bhayamaithunam cha Samanyam etat Pashubhir Naranam. Samanyam means Samanta. This is the similarities between animals and human beings. That is Ahar, Nidra, Bhaya and Maithun. Now what is the difference then? Difference is Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho. Dharma. What does dharma mean? Dharma means asking, inquiring deeper questions of life. Who are we? From where have we come from? Have you heard anytime college for dogs? When you have worked, suddenly you have seen a dog entering with his bag, opening the laptop and starting coding. No, right? They don't have the higher consciousness or higher intelligence to inquire. Awareness. They are lacking that awareness. That is the difference. धर्मो हि तेषाम अधिको. We say something like अधिक मात्रा में बरसात हो रही है केरल के क्षेत्र में. Right? We say something. We see hear that in news. Adhiko means extra, vishesha, speciality. The extra speciality of whom? Narana, of the human beings, and that is dharmo hi desha. That is to inquire. But then the last line says, it is very very interesting. Dharmena hina pashubhir saman. But if those people who don't inquire about the highest truth, then they are like animals. I'm not saying that. It's mentioned here. They are saying that if we do not inquire about the highest truth, we don't inquire who are we, then we are no better than animals. I'll give you an example. Let's say in Green Cup process we discussed, right? Now there are 2 categories, family A category and family B category. What will the first question you will ask? What is the difference? And if I say no, there is no difference, then you will say, then why you have 2 categories? Either name both as family A or family B, or both name as family A. Similarly, here also is the same thing. There is difference between humans and animals. But if humans are not using that, they have the capacity to inquire deeper. We all have heard about Vedas, right? The conclusion of all the Vedas is Vedanta Sutra. The first verse of Vedanta Sutra is Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now is the time to inquire. Human beings, by nature, they have the capacity to ask deeper questions, to inquire. And if they don't do that, if they are busy with eating, mating, sleeping and defending, then they are no better than animals. Bhagavad Gita has exactly similar words, but a little lighter, not as hard as this one. It says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit iti siddhai. There are many thousands among men. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Sahasreshu, thousands. There are thousands among men, but very few endeavor for perfection. Siddha. Very few endeavor for perfection. That means others are not endeavoring for perfection. Right? But that is a little lighter, indirectly saying. This is more direct. Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitruncha. If they are not inquiring about the highest truth, then they are no better than animals. See, this guy also, sometimes we say that, oh, we are sophisticated people, we eat on a dining table. This dog is also eating on a dining table. Eating, elephant can beat us hand down. How much we can eat? Maybe 1 kg of bananas, he can eat tons of bananas. Sleeping, we can't defeat them. Polar bear can sleep for 6 months. We can hardly sleep for more than 2 days continuously. Right? Maithun, reproduction. Dogs can give birth to 12 puppies in a year. We can, I don't think so. Right? We can't even match. Correct? What else remaining? Defending. We need all the ammunition and everything, right? But dogs just try to pull the tail. They don't need any ammunition, right? Directly they will bite. Or tiger for that matter, right? So they are more sophisticated with us than us, and compared to these 4 things. But we are more sophisticated than them when it comes to asking deeper questions of life. Who are we? Right? That's where we have an upper hand. But we are not using that upper hand. We should use that. And that is the reason why we are having this session. You are all sacrificing your time, correct, by coming here. You could have done so many different things. What does sacrifice means in Sanskrit? Yagya. Right? Yagya means you are sacrificing something, sacrificing your time. But when you are doing a yagya, there should be some purpose. It's not like बैठे बैठे क्या करें करना है कुछ काम चलो गीता session it's not like that, right? We have come here, there is a purpose. What is the purpose? Actually to inquire. That is the reason you are here. So till now we have not started the course. First we wanted to know why we are here, right? If someone asks you outside, what you guys are doing? So you can say, we wanted to inquire. Because they are different than animals. Okay, someone can read quickly this short paragraph. Who wants to volunteer? Maybe we can give this one.
Both animals and humans share the activities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But the special property of the humans is that they are able to engage in spiritual life, inquire about the higher dimensional science involving the wisdom of God, His creation, His laws, and the secret of true inner fulfillment in life. Therefore, without spiritual life, humans are on the same level as animals.
Again, I'm not saying. Next one.
What is the difference between my eating and dog's eating? He's eating according to his taste. The eating business is there in the dog also. Don't think your eating is different because you're eating nice preparations on the table with a chair and plate. It is still eating.
What's your name again? No, for your very humble ideas. Right? So, we just quickly recap. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending, right? You see this? Oh, sorry. So this monkey is eating. But see, he's again looking back. He's eating but he's looking back, right? So he's eating but he's in anxiety, correct? Someone will come from behind and steal her, so he's eating fast also, right? We also do that. When we are eating, we are thinking stock is going down, right? Stocking is, people who have short the market, they are thinking stock is going up, right? Or my manager is giving me a hard time. We also have anxiety. Same thing, there's no difference, right? There's no difference. So eating, sleeping, mating, defending. And same is with us, right? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. But the difference is we can inquire. We can ask deeper questions of life, right? There's a very nice little joke in this.
Like you.
Right? So this is the difference between animal and human. We can actually ask higher questions. We can make, we can ask who are we. Similarly, Brahmana, we hear this word Brahmana a lot, right? Bhagavad Gita has a different conception of Brahmana. Brahmana and Kripana. Kripana means a miser. Miser means he has something, but he's not ready to use it, right? Human beings have the capacity to inquire. Same thing. So a person who is inquiring is actually a Brahman, not a person who is carrying a pretty 5 paise thread and he's saying, we are Brahman. Right? It's actually a person who is inquiring. Person on the left. And person on the right is the one who has the capacity but he is not using his intelligence. Right? Oh, by the way, I forgot actually. Sorry, one important thing. You might want to take notes because in the 9th session, they will also have a quiz. So, if in case you want to just do. Okay, we'll go ahead. So till now, we have understood the purpose why we are here. Okay, now we'll go to the next section. Okay, so this is most important, right? What are we looking in this life for? What are we looking for in this life? What do you think? What are we looking for in this life? Purpose. Okay.
True happiness.
Peace. Peace. Yes. We are looking for peace, right? Shanti. Not the
Happiness.
happiness. Yes, happiness. But anyways, he already revealed it through that form. But anyways, yes, we are looking for happiness, right? We are all looking for happiness actually. We might work. We might whatever we are doing in this life. The sole purpose is actually happiness, right? Sole purpose is happiness. So we are in the childhood, we are studying so that our parents will say, once you get a job, you'll become happy. Once we get a job, but we don't become happy. Our manager gives us a hard time, right? Our colleagues gives us a hard time, right? Then we think, oh, maybe when we get married, we will become happy. Then, so I mean, what to say? I'm in the same, including myself, right? So we are all looking for one thing. Each one of us is looking for one thing in this life, and that is happiness. Whatever endeavor we are doing for this one thing, that is happiness. Right? So that is the topic that we have today. Now we started. Search for happiness, pursuit of happiness. Right? Everyone wants to be happy. Sometimes we are with friends thinking, if you are with friends, you'll be happy. Right? We do studies. Why? To get happy. To become happy. Job. To become happy. On-site opportunities. To become happy. Right? And then marriage. Obviously, what to say. To become happy. We think if we have a bigger mansion, we'll become happy. But we don't know, we only have to clean it. Right? When we build this house, this room, first thing my wife said is, you only have to clean it. That's the first thing. And I still do it. So I think that if you have a bigger house, we will become happy. If we have Bentley or Mercedes, we will become happy. But then once we get a scratch on it, all the happiness goes for us. Right? Then we have iPhone. If we have the latest model we have, we think we will become happy. Right? All this we are doing. Yeah. Now, this is basically, we are doing all these things, right? But still, we are actually not becoming happy. Right? There is some pinprick. Imagine you have been given a bowl of gulab jamun. You ate all that, and you still have some capacity more, not to inquire, but to have that gulab jamun. So it's a dessert, and now you have been given more and more and more, and at the end you have eaten thousands of gulab jamun. So gulab jamun was giving you happiness, right? That gulab jamun was giving you happiness, but now if I offer you one more, your tummy is completely full. If I give you one more, will you be able to have it? No. Now the same gulab jamun is giving you pain. Right? This is a true story. I'll tell you one story. Suddenly when I was talking about gulab jamun. So there was one devotee. He had just moved from USA to a temple in Pune. So he went there, and there was one big festival happening there. So this guy, he went there, and he was just moved there. So as soon as he reached, whenever you go to ISKCON, right? I mean, once you have been part of ISKCON for a long time, you'll start understanding the most important thing that you have to look for is food. Okay, that is important. Food and education. Life is best then. So, spiritual education. So this guy, he went there and he asked, I want something, mala khaila de, I want to eat something. So then he saw there was butter halwa. So butter halwa is again another famous cuisine that is served in ISKCON. So he saw there was an entire bucket of butter halwa. He ate one spoon. He loved it. He kept eating. Suddenly he was lying on the floor. So another devotee came and he saw he was not able to breathe also. That guy was lying. So they immediately took him to the doctor. The doctor, seeing the situation, he said that this guy has eaten so much, something he has eaten, there is not even a space to put a pill. The only thing that you have to do is now cut open the stomach. He did all that too for happiness, right? Everything he did for happiness. But then now his stomach was, surgery happened, and then the doctor said 2.5 kgs of halwa he had eaten. 2.5 kgs of halwa. Right? The thing that was supposed to give him happiness gave him a big bill and pain. Right? So we are all looking for happiness, but we are not actually getting it. Right? There is some pinprick. Right? There is some pinprick somewhere. So we will see what is a pinprick. Everyone has seen this video, then we will speak. No? Okay. We'll see. Yeah, this one. This is what story. Right? So we're all looking for happiness, but in that happiness, in that endeavoring for happiness, we are actually getting more and more entangled, more and more pain. Right? So now the next question is, what are the problems or what are the things that is stopping us from getting that happiness? What are the different things that roadblocks or the punctuation marks that are coming because of which we're not getting that happiness, right? What are the different things? Like one example can be, as I said, a boss, right? We feel that desires, right? The more the desires, the more we endeavor, right? And that causes more pain. What else? Desires. Good point. Very good point. Actually, Krishna says the same thing in Bhagavad Gita as well. Dissatisfaction, right? Mentally, we become dissatisfied, right? If we get very good marks, we are very happy. But if our friend gets even better marks, then we become dissatisfied. Dissatisfaction, right? So, same thing, bonus, right? We come to know we have got such a nice bonus. Manager says you are the best. And then we ask our colleague, right? He told me I'm the best. I got the least percentage, right? Then we become dissatisfied. Thing that was said, we became very elated, suddenly we become dissatisfied. What else? That is mental problem. Right? Mental problem in the sense that problem of the mind, right? What else? Ego, yeah. That is all health, right? You want to enjoy, but you want to eat more and more halwa, but our body is only not allowing. Correct? At age of 24, maybe we can eat 1 kilo of halwa. At age of 40, we can eat maybe 500 grams of halwa only. Right? So our body, our health is not allowing, right, to enjoy the fullest. What else?
Very busy lifestyle.
Very busy lifestyle. Right? Very busy lifestyle. We don't have time to enjoy only. Very busy lifestyle. Correct.
Not ready to accept the things.
Not ready to accept the things. Yes. Not ready to accept. Disconnection with our roots, right? Disconnection with our roots, disconnection with our people, right? We have seen this so many times. Two people are sitting in front of each other, but both are on the mobile, right? That disconnect is there. They might be chatting only to each other. Right?
They are called mental
Threefold miseries. Yes, we'll read the threefold miseries. It all comes, whatever problems we are discussing, it all comes under these threefold miseries that we will discuss now. It comes from Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it's mentioned these threefold miseries, and also in Bhagavad Gita, next time. First is Adhyatmika. Adhyatmika is the misery that is caused by body and mind. Some people said dissatisfaction, right? So it's a problem of the mind. Health is the problem of the body. It's our own problem. So the problem, the misery that is caused by our own self could be body and mind or intelligence, right? Body and mind or intelligence, right? Stress, right? It is said that 1 in every 3 person is going to a psychiatrist, and every psychiatrist is going to other psychiatrist, and because he's hearing so much of other people, right? So adhyatmika, it's called adhyatmika. Second is adi bhautik, caused by other living entities. I mean, who are married, they will know. So I don't have to give too much details on that, right? Colleagues, right? Colleagues are another example. Mosquitoes, right? Today only, right? Is the mistake of that living being coronavirus, right? Is it the mistake of the person who got COVID? No, right? Other living entities are giving the problem, correct? So that's known as adi bhautik. Bhautik means other bhuta, other living entities. So adhyatmic, first, our own self, body and mind, they are giving suffering. Second is adi bhautik, people that are other living entities, they are giving suffering. And third is adi daivik, the material nature giving suffering, right? Tsunami, floods, volcanoes, too much heat, too much rain, too less rain, too much heat, too less heat, right? As a rule, man is a fool. As a rule, man is a fool. When it's hot, he wants it cool. When it's cool, he wants it hot. Always wanting what is not. Right? That is the nature. Right? That is the nature of human being. So when it is cold, they will keep the temperature 75. They want 75. And when it's hot, they want to keep the temperature at 68. Why? I never understood that. Right? It should be constant, right? During summer and winter. But that's the nature of human being. That's why it said, as a rule, man is a fool. When it's cold, he wants it hot. Now, cold will start out there, right? And immediately after some time, we'll start saying, when will summer come? When will summer come? And when summer comes, we'll say, when will winter come? Right? It's just amazing, right? The nature of the mind. But if you see, these problems are not common to all. Let's say, one example I was giving. Let's say malaria, right? Or let's say COVID. For one person, it will be a problem. Maybe not for other person. Right? For other person, it might not be a problem. The stock market is a big example, right? A person who has short the market, for him, if the market is going up, for him it's a sadness, right? But for a person who has RSUs, for him it's a gala time. Correct? So the problem is not same. Correct? For one person, which is a problem, for other person it can be a source of happiness. Correct? A source of happiness. So then Gita explains that these are relative problems. What we discussed just now are relative problems. But what are real problems of life? How can we what features or what qualities that real problem, when we can say that these are the real problems of life? What can we assign? What kind of problem we can say that they are real problems? So Gita explains that 3 things, if that problem has, then we can say it is a real problem. It's a real problem. Otherwise, everything else you can think of it is like relative. So one is it should be common to all, and it should be common to all. Like for example, for many people, illiteracy can be a big problem, right? But not maybe for us, maybe because we are literate, that's why we have studied, right? So it's not common, right? We spoke about malaria or COVID, might not be common for all, right? So real problem has to be common for all. Second thing, no one wants it. No one wants it. But we discussed just now, stock market. Right? If it is going up, the person who has short the market, for him it will be a problem, but for the person, it will be a source of happiness. So one person wants it to go up, right? Another person wants it to go down. So it's no one wants it that doesn't fit this criteria, correct? Third is, but no one can avoid it. So what are the 3 things that a problem can be defined as a real problem? One is it should be common to all. Every living entity has to go through that. That means it's a real problem. Then we have to solve that problem really, right? Second is nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. And third is, but you cannot avoid it. Just not possible to avoid it. Yeah. Okay, so what do you think? What are the kind of problems you think which fits these three criteria? Aging. Yes, aging, right? Old age. Nobody wants to be old, right? When you are starting, everyone is looking, when I become 25. And after 25, when I can remain 25. Right? But the age keeps, the old age is something that we cannot control. It has to come, right? No one wants it. Nobody wants old age, but nobody can avoid it. Right? Thank you. We are actually talking directly from scriptures. Amazing. Old age. What else?
Death.
Death. Right? Very obvious. I thought this will come first. Right? Death. Nobody wants it, but everybody has to go through it. Right? Death. What else? Failure, yes. But again, failure, a person who doesn't care only about failing, right? Like for a person, let's say when I was in India, one person, he got only used to, in Mumbai University, we used to have KT system. I don't know if you have heard. KT means you basically got flunked. And that guy was jumping. Why? Because he got only one KT. Imagine. He failed in only one subject, he was happy. Only one. My neighbor, he got 4. Right? So that is also not common for all, right? And for maybe a million, it doesn't even matter. Right? He will have his business running irrespective. Right? Okay, so we discussed old age, we discussed death. One more, that is one simple one. Both is different.
Sadness, pain or suffering.
Suffering because of what? Natural disasters, yes. But again, you like for example, one thing is happening in Florida, might not be happening here. So, not common for all, right? But yes, that's more towards Adidevik, right? Adidevik. Thank you. Pain because of what? Love. Yeah, that's a soft corner.
I mean, like, if we would have all have love,
Yes.
that would be creating a pain.
Correct. Everybody is hankering for love, right? There are different kinds of love. Everybody is hankering for love.
Like
And
that
we
connection.
will discuss that in the 6th session actually. What is that love that we are all hankering for? Good point. Thank you. Yes, we'll be discussing that. Pain and suffering. Why? Because of what we are getting pain and suffering. Separation. Okay. But maybe for other person the separation is not there. Physical. Why that physical suffering is coming? You're near, very near. Health. Why the sickness, right? That is coming to disease. Correct? Disease. So we already discussed disease. We discussed old age. And in chorus we discussed death. Right? I think all of you. Fourth one is tricky, so I'll leave that.
But when you say disease, one person is going through it, the other person isn't. Right?
Yes, but everyone is going through disease. Some other disease. In their entire life, nobody can say that I have not had a single disease in my life. Nobody can say that. Yes, one person might have some disease, other person might be suffering from other disease. Some might be suffering from diabetes, some might be suffering from I don't want to scare you guys. This is already a complicated. But the point is, everybody goes through some other disease, right? Some other disease. Yes.
Disease can be physical or mental.
Yes. Correct. So we discuss death, right? There are 4 problems, we discuss each one of them. Death, right? I have to check the time. Oh man, only 8 minutes ago. This race against time. Next year we'll complete only some part. Death, right? So nobody wants it, right? But still everybody gets it. Old age, right? Once a lawyer, he goes to the month after death, he goes to abode of Yamaraj, a person who gives punishment. He says, "You took me away. You didn't give me notice. I'm a lawyer. I know you are supposed to give notice before taking me away." So the Yamaraj, the god of death, he said, "I gave you 4 notices. First, your hair started becoming white, but you immediately applied some henna, right? And you brushed into the carpet that notice. And I gave you another notice where your teeth started falling, but you immediately added some artificial tooth. Then I gave you another notice when your hair started falling, but you immediately did hair transplant. And finally, you started getting wrinkles. But hi handsome, right? You put some cream and you save that also. I gave you so many notices. So like that, life is giving us again and again notice, right? But we don't sort of care. Diseases, right? Right? One friend told me, what is the definition of a doctor? A doctor is the one who cure ills by his pills and then kills the patient through his bills. Right? Each one of us goes through some or the other disease. Right? The last one, the biggest one. Birth. The root cause of all the problems is actually birth. Right? Why I came here? Right? And if you think that no, this is not the case, then if you have seen that movie in which that person, that baby when he comes out, he's not crying. And then that actor says, all is well, all is well. And then immediately he kicks and then everybody becomes happy that now he's crying. Right? How many of you have seen a kid coming out smiling and happy? Nobody, right? Whoever comes out, he's always cries. In fact, if he's not crying, the doctor will be in tension. The kid is not crying. Right? And we're talking about this after coming out of the womb. What about in the womb? The baby should suffer a lot. So this verse also comes from Bhagavad Gita. What are the 4 real problems of life which is common to all? Nobody wants it and nobody can avoid it. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Dukkha means suffering. These are the 4 things that actually cause the suffering. And dosha means faults. And these are the four faults. Janma, mrityu, jara and vyadhi. Disease. Right? These are the 4 things. It's mentioned in 13th chapter, verse number 9. These are 4 things which are actually real problems. We will discuss how to come out of those real problems in the future sessions. This is more like a foundation. Because you should know why we are there. Right? What is the problem statement? Like when scientists prove something, they have some problem statement. Right? So this is a problem statement. This is a little gross video, but it gives a reality. It talks about birth. This entire flickering happiness, right? So now Bhagavad Gita explains that this material world, he gives a definition to this material world. What does this material world really mean? Material world means this world, Earth, you can think of, and different planets. All encompasses a material world. What is the definition of material world? Right? So there's a little bit of Sanskrit now will come. If you want to go to a library, what is it called in Sanskrit? Pustakalaya, Granthalaya. If you want to go somewhere to eat food, what is it called? Bhojanalaya. Right? What is the common in all these 3? Alaya. Alaya means a place. Alaya means a place, and Bhojan means either food, Madhira means intoxication, and then Pustak means books. A place where these things are, that is the name of that place. Correct? Similarly, Bhagavad Gita explains that this material is defined as Dukkhalaya Ashashvatam. Ashashvatam means eternal. Ashashvatam means which is not eternal, which is temporary. It's a temporary situation we are here. And second is, it is Dukkhalaya. So we are trying to find happiness in a place which is supposed to give miseries. This is the irony. Bhagavad Gita actually explains this in a very strong way, that this material world is Dukkhalaya. Dukh means miseries and Alaya means a place.
We are getting disease. We should be happy.
No, we should understand that this place is meant for that. Acceptance. Not acceptance, you have to find the root cause of all the problems. We'll discuss that in 4th session. What is, how to, yeah. So it says, this material world, where am I now? I'm now in this material world called Dukkhalaya Ashashvatam, a temporary place where misery is constant companion. That is the definition of this word. And that is why we are looking for happiness. The question is, we are looking for happiness, but we are not getting it. Why? Because we are searching for the right thing at the wrong place. You're searching for the right thing at the wrong place. How many of you have heard the word mirage? Mirage, right? In Sanskrit, it's called Mrigatrishna. Mirage means something that you see, you think it is, but it's actually not. Like here, you are seeing a reflection. That means there is water. But if you go closer, there is no water. There is no water. That's known as mirage. In a desert, you see, right? It's same. You're doing everything. You're doing everything, thinking that this will give me happiness. This gulab jamun will give me this happiness. This cake will give me this happiness. But once we go closer and we start, oh my God, this actually gave me suffering, right? And then this so many times it happens. When you have eaten a lot, and then they say it's more, it's a lot more there. Do you want to pack it? Right? Why? Because we are trying to look for the right thing, which is happiness, but at the wrong place in this material world. It's known as Mriga Krishna. But then the question comes: if we are seeing something at the wrong place, we are seeing a reflection. That means that there is same thing somewhere in the reality. Here, what we are seeing water, right? Reflection of the water we are seeing in this place. Correct? That means that there is somewhere real water, right? We are seeing a mango, reflection of a mango, let's say, in a river. That means there is some real mango somewhere, right? Gita explains that this mirage that you're seeing, you're trying to look for happiness in a wrong place. That means there is some place where you will get happiness. We will discuss that in future sessions. And we'll end here with this old song. Right? Does this kind of place really exist where you can get happiness eternally without speed breaker, without breakage? Right? चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहां कभी हो भी ना हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले. Right? What it means? I'll take you to a place where there is no sorrow, there is no tears, and love is in the air. Right? But we don't see here. Right? We don't see here. Everyone is looking for love, but actually they want to serve their own selfish desires. Instead of giving, they actually want. Right? But love is a verb. Verb means to do something for someone, but we are busy doing for ourselves. But this song says, although the lyricist doesn't know, there's actually a place. Bhagavad explains. Similar verse he says in 15th chapter. He says, "Na tad bhasayate suryo, no shashanko na pava." There is such a place where you don't need sun and moon for the electricity. There's no too much heat, too much cold. There's such a place. We'll discuss that. And also we'll discuss that the happiness that we are looking for. What are the ways by which we can get eternal happiness? But today was a foundational course, so yes, we will end here. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we were supposed to have question answers, but we have gone really. I mean, I am more like a fun. I prefer to end at time. We have gone a little bit more, 6 minutes again because we started 6 minutes late. So we'll start with prasadam. We'll have now dinner time. But at the same time, what we can do is we can have question answers while having dinner. So, and yeah, thank you again. Next week we'll again have the session, and we'll go ahead. Go to the next topic. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.